I subscribe to the channel.
I did not receive my medal until recently, but I believe it was sent to AFPI, our lawyers, and then it was presented to me at the Fox Awards show. I did ask after the fact after the medal ceremony concluded, we went into kind of a tunnel that leads you back out to the audience. And I asked one of the officials, hey, are we going to get our medals? And she told me they'd be shipped to our school. And then they were never shipped to my school. Of course, I wanted that medal. I had worked super hard to get to that place where I was on the podium. And I was very proud of how I finished. But also, a part of me knew that it was part of the sacrifice that I was making when I stepped off that podium, that there were going to be consequences. And not receiving my medal was one of them. There were people who were calling my school, asking me to be expelled, not allowed to walk at graduation. There were people messaging me personally, just saying horrible things, death threats, even. And I did have a lot of support, which I am, of course, grateful for, but it was definitely mixed. There were a lot of people who were kind of shaming me, calling me a bully. That one was really hard because I take bullying very seriously and it's not something anyone should ever endure. So that one definitely struck home. Also, I had someone just wishing me, like, I hope you die. Your parents are definitely like embarrassed of you. Just stuff like that. That was very deeply personal and definitely hurt. My parents have been so amazing. They told me from the very start, before anything even happened, when I came to them, was like, hey, Oregon is allowing biological men in the women's division. I'm not okay with this. They told me that they have my back from the start. They have been amazing. They've helped me delete every comment that's been negative, just told me, don't believe it. We're proud of you. Other people are proud of you. We're going to get through this.
You guys are gonna cry. I was a transfer, so that was my first year playing at my high school, senior year. I came from a little private school, and my goal from day one was make it to the state tournament, play in the state tournament, and win it. And we had the team to do so until we played Champlain Park, and you walk up to the field and you see a biological male in the circle and hitting, and your dreams are just crushed. Like all hope and all sense of excitement is kind of downplayed because now no one cares about you. All they care about is this biological male that's coming in and taking away from what the state tournament was supposed to be. So before the season, we knew that this athlete was transgender, and the hope was that some team would be able to beat them. And then the season starts progressing, and they're just winning and winning and winning every game. And you see these videos of this athlete just striking everyone out, hitting incredibly. So that was hard. And then we get to the state tournament and we actually upset the number 3 seed. So we weren't even supposed to make it to play them. And then we upset the 3 seed, ended up winning. And so then later we get to the game and it's kind of building up. No one's really talking about it because it's one of those things that it's like, what's someone else going to say if you talk about it? I was extremely upset. I was talking to my parents beforehand. I didn't want to play in the game originally. Um, but in the back of my mind, it felt like I was letting myself, my team, and my family down because this was one of the last times that they would be able to see me play for my high school and in the state of Minnesota because I do go to college in Michigan now. It hurts in a lot more ways than you can ever understand. It hurts in almost feeling like there's no sense of hope in winning the game. And no matter what's going to happen, they will have the upper hand. And so it's incredibly heartbreaking. And I'm a catcher, so I have seen movement pitches, but when your hands are bigger than a biological female at that age and at in Minnesota especially, you're spinning the ball 10 times more. And I would actually say that this athlete wasn't on their best game that day, but even at half their best, they're still blowing it past us, spinning the ball more, making it so we can't hit. This athlete did hit a double that scored runs to tie us up. And it almost looked like it was a half swing. Like this athlete was not swinging to the full potential, and the ball was still being hit extremely hard. And it was hard to call pitches because it seemed like every pitch I called, this athlete could hit. It didn't matter what pitch I threw, they were going to make contact and hit that ball. We got walked off in the bottom of the seventh inning. and I'm not a very emotional person. And the minute that game ended, I was sobbing to the point where I honestly wanted to just leave right away. I did not want to do anything else. I wanted to pack my stuff up and get out of there because I was so heartbroken and so upset that I couldn't even process what just happened. It was, as I said earlier, it was a hurt like no other. I couldn't even process what was going on because how do you acknowledge that you just lost to a biological male? Like, how do you process those events that happened? And that's something that that entire night I still couldn't do it. I was calling my parents, crying on and off because not only did I lose a chance to go to the state championship game, which was a dream as a kid, but we lost to a biological male in a female championship or female state tournament. I think that you should vote for who will make our state a better place. And right now, Minnesota is going through a lot of turmoil, and there is a lot that is wrong with what's going on. It is not the same state I grew up in. There's so many differences and so many changes. It's not safe to be there anymore, if we're going to be honest. You know, I'm not even allowed to go into St. Paul or Minneapolis. My parents will not let me because of how dangerous it is. And I think that people should vote for who they think will make it a safer place. You know, I think that the media attention that was given to the state tournament and all of that will play a pretty big role. You know, it reached so many different people and so many new people started speaking up because they weren't scared anymore because they saw that it's okay to voice your opinion and it's okay to think it's wrong. And I think there's so many more young people my age, even younger, who are finally now paying attention to how wrong this is. And it's not something where they're just going based off what people tell them. They're doing their research and they're understanding that it's not fair for biological males to play in female sports and nobody wants a repeat of what happened last year.
Because of my religious beliefs, like I know that um this isn't like okay and it's unfair. Like I respect you. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your life, but religiously, like I just don't support it, and it's always been unfair. And even though I have been kind for the past since my freshman year, I've never felt that it was okay.
Yeah, so I've always been like respectful about it. I've always known that it wasn't quite right though, because it didn't feel right.
They were really shocked. They were like, how can they allow this? This isn't right. They should respect your religious beliefs as well as theirs. Like, you have to respect both sides. It can't just be directed towards one particular student. And I just feel like we haven't like gotten those rights, like the protection of privacy and safety. And it just hasn't been talked about enough, and more people need to talk about it. Honestly, now like I look back and I realize I shouldn't have had to be scared to change in the women's locker room. I'm not allowed to show my hair or my body to males, biological males, and I shouldn't have had to deal with that. Like I should have had those privacy rights since the second I stepped into the locker room, since my freshman year. I wish they would just understand that there's some things that I can't do because of my religious faith, and it's not disrespectful toward anyone or their identity, but there's stuff I just can't do, and I wish I had more privacy protecting those rights.
Definitely got anxiety about it. I was even telling my mom I was scared of like protests and how people would come and how that would affect like everyone around the team, because I know like there's peaceful protests and there's like violent ones, and I don't support the violent ones, and I was scared of that. Yeah. And I also felt like, especially how he was getting so much attention from track, I was scared that it was going to move on to volleyball, which it did.
And because I was in track, I've been in track with this person since our freshman year. I've seen all this attention come towards it, and I've never agreed with the violence once, and I still don't agree with it. It's never the answer, but I knew it was gonna follow us to here, and I even had thoughts of quitting the volleyball team. I didn't want to be associated with this. I don't want people to think that I'm okay with this, and I'm not. So that's why I decided to take a stand with Alyssa and show everyone that I'm not okay with it, and we have a right to defend our rights. If our governor himself says that it's unfair, I feel like he should act on it. He's the one who's representing for us, so I feel like he should be the one to stand up, and it shouldn't be girls like me and Alyssa who have to forfeit in order to make a stand that this isn't right. our governor should see that, and he sees it. But if you're not going to do anything, then, you know, like, what are you here to do if you're not here to make America better, you know?
In the spring of last year, one of my teammates was at the net when the male athlete was serving, which is also 30 feet behind the net. So that's a great distance for the ball to be traveling. And it had so much force and so much impact with my teammate's head, and it resulted in a concussion. She was out for 2 weeks of her sophomore year, and she was upset. And obviously injuries happen. It's inevitable, especially in a contact sport. But this one particularly could have been prevented by not having this male athlete on the team.
And me as well. I myself got hit in the face by this male athlete in practice in August. I was ready. I knew this male athlete was about to hit the ball, and just I couldn't react fast enough to move out of the way, and the ball spiked me in the face. And it was way harder than any other hit that I got from the other female athletes on our team. And it just kind of goes to show how male athletes have that biological advantage of being faster, being stronger, having broader chest, which is such an advantage in volleyball. And when he connects to the ball, it's way faster than any other woman. And that just goes to show why there should be two different sports teams for female and male athletes, in my opinion.
Well, I did have a conversation with her outside of practice, and she was telling me how this really was infuriating because she didn't believe that this athlete belonged on our team. And now that she's suffering the consequences, it really bothered her. But a majority of our team, unfortunately, doesn't see it the way that we see it. They support the male athlete being on the team, and we're kind of the minority on our team really in this situation. So they don't see really an issue. And if they do, they're too scared of really what others might think of them if they come out and say what they believe.
I just got stood up for a date, and I'm not heartbroken. I'm disappointed because, you know, I'm really happy with how my look came together today. And it was going to be my first date since transitioning. We were going to go get ice cream and stuff, but it wasn't meant to be. But let's look at my look, because I put all this together and I want to show you. Okay. Yeah, but my purse is broken. It's not broken, it just kind of spilled a little bit, but whatever. Okay, I think like the reason I'm recording this is is it fishing for sympathy? Maybe, but also like might be a good takeaway to show that like, hey, when shitty things like this happen to you, you're still smart, you're still hot, you're still the shit, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna go find something else to do with my day where I can still wear this outfit because, you know, I look really nice. So yeah, I don't know. Oh well, anyway, this might have been the nail in the coffin for me, for men, because of course it was a man who did this, and might have to just exclusively date women from here on out. I don't know what to tell you.